great performing for once and not interviewing and watching bands. Although we're like the luckiest people in the world. We get to sit here and watch all these other people play and enjoy their music. But it's been probably over a year since we had a performance, man. So that was really, really good.
Yeah, just getting jealous of all the other people. They all get to play, and we're like, come on, man.
Right.
What is this?
So,
awesome.
Of course, we can't interview ourselves. So why don't you introduce?
We got Miss Hannah.
All right.
So Hannah's going to interview us today.
So I guess we'll start out going down the line, introduce yourselves, and tell me why you got into music and what got you into music.
My name's Jamie Fuhrman. I'm the drummer for Justin Angelo band. I started playing, my mother says when she was pregnant with me, she would come out and watch my dad play. And every time them drums would kick, I would start kicking in her stomach. And she swears I was on time, who knows. But I remember seeing pictures when I was 3 years old of me playing with my dad and playing on the drum kit. And I'd be at some of the shows because my uncle was a sound guy, so I'd be at some of the shows inside my dad's bass drum case looking over and watching the band. So ever since I can remember, music has been a part of my life. Yeah. What about you?
Oh, man.
You never thought this would be so hard being on the other side of the camera, right?
Funny, bro. It's so funny. Jeez. So my name is Justin Angelo, and I was born in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and my dad got me into music. He always had bands, so we were always, listening to them play in the basement, and they had no soundproof insulation, so, you could hear it through the floor. And then one time my dad took a bunch of egg cartons and literally stapled, 6 or 7 layers of egg cartons, along all the walls. And so, it literally just looked like a pseudo cave when you'd go in. And when we moved, we didn't take that down. They instructed us not to take it down, so someone else had to do all that work. And so from time to time, I really think about that. I don't know why. I think it's funny. But I spent some time playing all over. I did a bunch of music conferences, and then I moved to Key West for a little bit, played some shows there and back here. And during that process, I found a bunch of people who, I guess can feel the same vision that I have and, can make it better. And people that have a better sense of, musicality than I would just by myself. And, that's why no matter where I am, north or south or wherever, this is the project. So I'm very happy to be able to say that. And I'm very happy to be able to say that, we interviewed a band a couple weeks ago. And the guy was like, yeah, I just don't know what we found, man. There's no, egos and there's no, battles in our thing. And I was like, yeah, man.
That's the thing. We feel freedom. We feel freedom with these guys. It's it just comes natural.
Yeah, and then James will post stuff and Kyle will post stuff, and I'll, watch it and be like, my boy, And
I love how all of our styles come together. I had a strong, heavy jazz and funk background. And each one of you guys has different experiences, and it just kind of meshes with what we our backgrounds, What
about you, Kylie?
When I was a boy, my sister and I.
You still are a boy. Oh, you mean kid? Oh.
When I was a younger boy.
Oh, okay.
When I was a young boy.
When I was a young boy.
Let him talk.
My mom had a guitar. Nylon guitar, and I would just kind of mess around with that. And I always wanted a strap, and I didn't know anything about the guitar, so I would take just a backpack strap and hook it to the string and then wear it. And I didn't know anything about guitars. And then I would just poke around on the piano. And then I started playing the violin and switched to guitar. And
how long you been playing guitar?
Started when I was 11.
And how old are you now?
I'm 24 now. Yeah, getting old.
Good thing you're not 23. Nobody likes you when you're 23.
I can testify to that.
Jameson?
Yeah. Got my start. There was a yard sale there was a piano and a guitar. I got my start, we got the piano, and we brought it home, and I didn't touch it for like a year. But then I was in a musical, and someone forced me to be in a musical, or like convinced me. and I seen the music director and the piano player, and I was like, this is pretty cool what they're doing. So then that's kind of when I got into music, and I kind of dropped the theater side of it and picked up the guitar and the piano, and later on the drums and the bass. So yeah.
And we met you through Aaron, because Aaron Trissot was our other key player, and he's the one who really kind of got it's kind of crazy, because we met Aaron because we went in the studio with Bobby Gentillo, and he literally said, he's like, okay, I'm gonna bring this keyboard player in, and if he doesn't add like more value to the song, I won't make you pay for it. And I'm like, all right. So Aaron came in, and within 10 minutes of him being there, I was like, yeah, I'm paying for that studio time, aren't I? And it was super interesting when he like went to do his thing with the Air Force Band, because we had like jammed a bit, but I feel like when you came in, I don't know, man, every time we're sitting there mixing, like, and even with your guitar stuff too, like, I'll be like, that's a great choice, like, that's a great chord choice, that's a great choice right there, and then what we as the rhythm section did to increase what the quote-unquote lead section was doing. I feel like that's really where the magic is, because we have people who are good at leads and we have people who are good at rhythm, and because of that I feel like we're not really lacking in any way. Like, you can always add more, you can always add trumpets or percussion or whatever, but having like that core group that can really get like a consistent sound that you appreciate. Yeah, so I'm really happy that all kind of happened, because it wasn't like a we knew each other kind of thing. It was like a time happening kind of thing, which I think the best things always happen that way.
Definitely.
And you went to what did you take at Millersville?
I went for music business at Millersville, but that was relatively short-lived. I actually found that I couldn't play like these kind of gigs and everything, like being in college, so I was like, I'll just drop out instead and do music and photography full-time.
But you got your hands on all kinds of different instruments, man. I keep seeing you play. Every time I see you, I'm like, I didn't know you could do
play
that.
everything, yeah.
It's a lot of like musical ADD. I feel like I lose focus on one thing, so I'll be like, oh, well, I can still be productive as long as I do something, so just switch to a different instrument or different idea, and
yeah, like everybody has that thing where like I would always gravitate back to the drum. I would say I'm a drummer. I could play percussion. I could probably play up anything. I could figure out anything that I pick up. But drums is my thing, and like him, he could probably play banjo and violin and everything else, but he gravitates to the guitar. We all have that thing in our DNA, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm so glad that I got to be a part of this group with you.
Yeah, hell yeah, you too. Yeah.
Bobby?
No comment.
That was easy.
That's funny.
Well, my name is Bobby Fry Jr. I've been playing around Lancaster most of my life, over half my life. 35 years, I think, or something.
You played with my dad a bunch of times, which is how we met.
I was just thinking of that because I would see you there bopping around, and I was like, what he's gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the next thing you know, you came out, and I was like, wow. Then you came up to the jam.
Yeah,
I
come up to the
didn't
jams.
see you for a long time,
Yeah.
and it was pretty neat.
Yeah, I was mostly shut in trying to become half as good as my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, me, how I started basically was just messing around. A friend had guitars and stuff, and we'd mess around with them. They weren't in tune or nothing or whatever. We just got doing whatever with it. And it just kind of kept. I guess it sparked something in me. At first, I wanted to play guitar, but we went to a pawn shop and all they had was a bass. So my dad's like, well, maybe you should just play the bass. And I was like, all right. So that was that, and I kind of, played guitar, messed with the keyboard, but all that and drums and everything. All of that was just trying to make me a better bass player, how to hear things, feel things, whatever. And I can kind of do it. I can play the other instruments somewhat, but
Well, and you got extensive like mixing knowledge too. You know, what I mean, like you come in here and we have conversations about mixing, and I know you like.
well, that's, yeah. I've been over the past couple of years. I've been like filling myself with all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you like always like
Yeah, who
watch
was that?
those webinars and seminars and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was that you were studying under? Was his name Caveman?
Oh,
Out in Cali?
Kevin Shirley.
Oh, Kevin Shirley.
Yeah, he's out. He's well. I guess he's
Kevin Caveman, that's pretty close.
yeah.
They call him Caveman, right?
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah, like it was funny when we
He
were.
said Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He's been a big part of his.
Seems
stuff.
legit.
He's done all kinds of stuff, you know, like. But actually, I found a Captain Caveman thing.
Oh,
And I
really?
took it. Yeah, I took it out. I gave it to him. Right.
Nice.
It was hilarious. Yeah, it's just I've been doing a lot of using the online, you know, or my phone really, but watching a lot of different things, trying to learn mixing and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And music. Right now, I'm kind of reinventing myself, I guess, or looking for
Yeah.
my former self. I've been feeling kind of like, I don't know, like my music wasn't worth anything, you know, and it really had, before, you know, it used to be like, oh, that was the thing that kept me going.
Yeah, but I got to stop you there because when I met you, it's probably been about 20 years or more, maybe. Actually, you didn't even know me yet, and I met you at the jam at Shanks in Marietta.
Yeah, Shanks, yeah.
And you had that blue bass, and you were handing out cards and stuff. And at this time, I was starting to get real busy with a bunch of different bands. I had like 6 different bands I was working with, probably playing 5-6 nights a week. And then somehow we needed a fill in, and I found your card, and I was like, I'll give this guy a try. I don't really know, you know. Ever since that day, you're my number one pick, man. And I've been playing with you, and I don't know how many projects we've been playing over 20 years.
Yeah.
I gel with you when you play. It's like bread and butter, man. I don't even have to think about it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
and,
know.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
attest to that too. Like being a third part of that rhythm section, I definitely vibe off of that because like I have a solid time. Like I can keep pretty good time, you know, and like being able to keep good timing, knowing that like I'm gonna keep good time, but you're gonna keep excellent time, and y'all play excellent together. Like so that whole section is just like in, you know, and I feel like that a lot. Like it's you know like some bands, you know, that I was a part of or that I've seen, like you'll see like they're like killing it at this part, and then it gets to this transition part and it's a little like it's good but it's not like there, you know. I feel like we don't really run into that too often because we always find a way to work things out because we understand the logistics of those things, you know, and I feel like that really adds to our vibe and our sound.
Yeah.
so I wouldn't go reinventing too hard because I like what you
Well,
have.
not
man.
reinvent. Basically, trying to find myself again. You know, like and
Your
actually
inner-
feel good
yeah,
about.
Well,
Yeah.
Waldo finds himself, bro.
Well, Bobby touched on it already. How do you think that the internet is changing how music is absorbed by
Pick me. No,
audiences?
Oh, the internet. Here's my thing. I think that it hasn't really changed that much at all in terms of like a business structure. Like I think the mediums have changed. I mean, I think that the old model, which was the hey, big label's gonna find you, put a bunch of money into you, and then you go out there and then you have to pay back the money and try not to end up in debt. Like cool, like that's what everybody like likes because they get the forward investment on the money. But I think now with the social media the way it is, I actually think it's better for content creators simply because you can put out stuff and then when you start getting like when your traffic naturally finds itself to you and you blow up on TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram or any of those things, you actually have your own market and you own that market. You're not getting put in front of a record label that owns the market and you don't have any say in it. Like you totally have a say over your market. Now, the difference of how much work you have to do to obtain that market has drastically changed, but that doesn't have anything to do with the internet. That has to do with people's individual motivation.
Because there's more competition in your face. And
Well, yeah, I mean, But I
you
think
don't have that person booking you out and trying to.
I
do
think
all
it's
that
good
for you.
though. I think it's good because I get a heck of a lot more inspiration than I do reasons to quit. I'm too dumb to quit. That's what I said. So
Just to wrap it up, to answer your question, how it ties together is, like, it seems like those events are changing at an exponentially, like, greater time. So, like, where at once, like, events change at the physical realm, like, over billions of years, like, events change at the social science realm over thousands of years as we organize ourselves psychologically. You can kind of change your ideas, like, in an instant, in the span of a life. But then, like, another, like, kind of metric of time is, like, you're changing ethics. And I feel like music is kind of like where you can kind of observe ethics in a contained environment. And it seems like the internet is kind of like globalizing us. So I don't think it's far out to believe, like, in the future, as we become further and further abstracted from our biological selves, the entire world will simply be musical.
That's an interesting perspective. I like that. And I guess speaking about being musical, if you could open for one band or artist, who would it be?
Chick
You can
Corea.
go down the line.
Rest in peace, Chick Corea.
One band or artist. That's a hard question.
not for
Because,
me.
We don't have to start with you. We can go the other way.
Oh, we can go the other way. I can think about it then.
Yeah, Bobby.
Who, me?
Yeah, who would you want to open for?
I have no idea.
We'll start in the middle.
I guess I'm in the middle. Who would I open for? Now? No one, because it's an ethical problem.
You got me.
Yeah, okay.
You're not supposed to
If
be
we
out opening
weren't,
for
if
anyone.
we weren't in a pandemic,
Well,
What
there are
band
some
would you-
places that are open.
That's true.
I don't know what to say. That's the thing about the internet. It's like we can totally see music as just.
I heard
like,
Jason Isabel's touring. You could
You know.
open for him.
There's no.
See, I'm trying to think of all my influences,
Yeah.
and like, there's so many different genres.
John Mayer,
Yeah.
Dave Mathews, Jason Mraz, John Butler Trio, Post Malone.
Yeah, there's like,
John
but there's
Mayer,
so many.
David Bowie.
But I'm saying there's different moods. There's like jazz and blues and funk and rock. And I
right
even
now, who would you open for?
like probably Marcus King, because that'd
Yeah.
be fun.
Marcus
Yeah.
King's awesome.
Yeah.
Burn
that'd be
dirty
fun.
butter whiskey, bright moonshine, wash it all down. Yeah, that stuff's awesome.
Well, I
Next
guess
question.
if anyone can't think of who they would open for, name some of your musical influences.
Jonas Brothers.
Dennis Chambers,
Yeah.
Dave Weckl, Dennis Chambers,
Steve Gadd.
Steve Gadd, Vinny Caluto.
Is that how you
I'm
say
probably
it?
not saying the name right, but
It's always been up in the air how you say his name.
there's so many, man. Papa Joe Jones,
Clyde Stubblefield.
Clyde Stubblefield, definitely. Clyde Lucas, my buddy over here, Clyde Lucas, yeah. Yeah, I can go on, but yeah, that's some of the top.
I definitely derive stuff. I mean, I have it all over my social media that, John Mayer, Jason Mraz, Dave Matthews Band. But, like, from a writing perspective, I think I gain a lot from, like, Bruce Hornsby's music. And I gain a lot from Sting's individual music. And I gain a lot from Joni Mitchell's individual music. Just the way they perceive writing. And even Suzanne Vega. Like, I've listened to that record with Marlena on the Wall, like, 100 times. All that stuff is just, there's something about it that is outside of what the rest of everybody else is doing. Like, outside of new country, outside of pop, like there's a realm of this, what I like to call ranting, and Ed Sheeran's pretty good at it, but it's still like a rapping kind of thing, and I don't mean rapping, I mean like a ranting thing, like with the whole like Crosby, Stills and Nash did it too, like helplessly hoping, or you know what I mean, like that stuff, which is where I got the Lady Liberty line, because it's the pentameter, the lady like sitting somewhere solitary staring at the moon, where it's like helplessly hoping her harlequin lover's nearby, things like that. Like, that's where I derive things like that from. And writing like that, like James Taylor, like, might not be your cup of tea, but that dude can write like crazy. And then Bobby, earlier we were talking about Jacob Collier and just like the weirdest he's like a weird harmony guru that I watch because it's super interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's
just
alright.
outside of the main things, I some of those more eclectic things, I really take from them a lot more than I take from probably the main influences that I would outwardly express. Do you feel like that?
If you notice, like, going back to the internet thing about different people, like, there's so many people doing music online now in front of a camera or whatever. And the funny thing about it is, it seems like it's more of the indie people, more
Right.
so than pop.
The big guys.
Well, yeah,
So
it's
accessible.
Have you seen Lady Gaga do anything? I haven't seen it.
no. Well, I've seen. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, I've seen like Keith Urban, Dave Mathews. Like, you see like those people doing it, but then it's most of the time it's honestly like the people who are like, they have their band and their fans or whatever, and they're just like, hey, like, whatever our fan base, we're gonna like, our band's called Pixels, so we're gonna call you the Pixels. Hey, our Pixel friends, like, whoever can create that kind of DIY environment market is the people who have it out. And I'd say those people tend to be the people who can like do the music, do the content, publish the content, figure out a way to make money from the content, get it on the radio, get it on your regular social media outfits. Those are the people who are going to get in front of your face, because those are the people that you find when you're in a store shazamming someone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it's going to get found. You get it in a thing. So,
Yeah, I agree, Bobby, with what you said. Like, it's interesting, this time of the virus, the almost non-musical aspect of live performance has been stripped away by the internet. So it's very easy for us to go on the internet and see what's good and bad musically, because it's not the spectacle, it's purely the...
yeah,
So-
you're right. Like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, like, you'd go see a band,
It's raw.
and you'd go see a band, and they'd have mistakes, and you'd be like,
Mhm.
I don't care. I'm just here to enjoy the experience. But you're much more prone for critiquing when you're watching
Right.
it through the internet.
And what's interesting is
I never thought about that.
the people, it's so accessible now. Most people will say like the most important part of themselves is what they do musically. Even at whatever degree they're doing it. So that's why I think like in the future, like as the needs of our biological and physical like world are taken care of with technology, the medium of communication will eventually become purely musical,
Yeah.
because that's the highest kind of human need.
And that's like going back, because the original language was music before
Right.
before anything else.
Right, but
Primal instincts.
primal instincts, yeah. No, but that's something I think about like a lot. The whole internet thing that you asked, I think, because I think like something that's really like incorrect to do at this time is think that this time is like a time in the past. Because it's very much not. Everyone is accessible. Like everyone can be a musician.
Mhm.
Everyone can post something online. Like just like when we, I don't need to go out and like kill my food anymore. Like that need has been taken
Right.
care of. It's on the same pyramid as the arts. So like eventually like the need to, because it feels like always like when you're playing, like you're pushing forward. Like you're reaching, like, I mean, not all the time, like depending on whatever situation you're in, but like the goal I think is to like reach far, and like it just feels like eventually like those kind of lower level things will be taken care of by technology and machines. I mean, just for ease of that farther reaching thing. But it's important, I think, to talk about this kind of stuff because it is an exponential increase in time. Like,
Yeah, it's a
Right.
lot faster than everything else. Yeah, like,
yeah.
definitely is.
Like, how would we explain this moment in time to someone like 20 years ago? Like, it's so abstract. Like we can't.
It's just like a movie. It's like selling
Yeah.
someone a movie.
So as a band, what does your writing process look like?
He starts it.
I do.
And then
No. No. Okay.
I
So
tell him it's a sucky idea, and then we go back to the no.
no, here's the thing. I have read a lot of books on songwriting structure, and only so I can learn rules, so I can later break them properly without getting reprimanded by somebody who knows more than me. And along with that, like my writing, when I write a song, the subject matters of my songs, because a lot of people, like, you know, when I play gigs, they'll come up and they'll go, oh, I love that song that was about this. Like, people, they relate to an individual thing. They don't relate to the whole set. They relate to one part of it that they really felt connected to that one thing. And I think that happens with my writing specifically because what I write about happens in a very short amount of time. Like that, like the song Around You is a very, like, there's no time span. Like, that song could be about 5 years or 5 seconds. Like, the innate need to be in being happy when you're around somebody, that can be a thing that spans over years or minutes or seconds. And so that's the thing I find interesting about some of the things that I write, is that they take up like this much time, like metaphorically, because I don't write like a song about a situation that happens. I write a song about a way I felt about something for like a split second, where I'm like, I didn't like that. Meh. You need to cut me a break, and then slack happens. You know what I mean? Like a very simple, innate moment, or a moment, or you know what I mean?
Right.
Those things, and I feel like that's how people connect. So that's how I write. When I actually put it to music and then bring it to these guys, it becomes a whole nother animal. You know?
Yeah, because there's a lot of things. Because I hear a lot of your songs that you're playing out. You play a lot out by yourself.
Ton. Yeah.
And I hear the way you're playing it there, and then you bring it to us, and it's like we want to. It's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, Lady Liberty changed a lot, specifically because of your drums.
The Army of One?
In Army of One, yeah, changed a lot.
Yeah, there was a...
Shout out to my buddy Taylor Greer, who actually was the one who said that we should do that song and put it on the album, because he told me I should record that song. We recorded it.
And Bobby's bass line was like a great hook in that...
Yeah.
Dum-doo-doo-doo-dum, whatever
yeah,
song.
the beginning. Yeah, the intro.
Yeah, that's all through the song like that. But
yeah.
So things like that, like, just change the whole entire mood, and it becomes a whole other beast.
Yeah. Cheap plug.
Well,
yeah.
my aspect on the writing side of it is like I try to, like, whoever the artist is, whoever wrote it, I try to, like, take from what they're doing or what the feel is, what the emotion is,
Play to the song.
You know, and try to, like, play what I think I should for that particular song or whatever. And that's something I've been working on for a long time.
Yeah, my thing with this project is pocket and like learning how to, like, just play the most simplest notes but make them the most impact, you know.
Well, the interesting thing with you and Kyle, like, you guys, like, you allow it to, like, a certain part, you'll allow it to, like, open up, and then we can just kind of jam for a while.
But it's still not over the top. It's still that you can open up and still have that pocket.
But I'm saying that opening up, like, as a band, like, in terms of, like, the fluctuation of dynamics, doesn't happen in every band I've been in, you know, and so that's something that I take away from it, you know. And I'm curious to hear what your guys' takes are on it, because James, when I send you stuff and you send it back, man, I'm like, man, I don't know what you were thinking, but, like, it's awesome, you know. And then Kyle, you know, we'll do take after take and, you know, decide what's gonna work and what's gonna be the best, you know. And that's the thing, you both are so versatile that I can only imagine you guys taking like 100 takes and being super, like, worried about the finality of it, because you guys are putting, like, the icing on it, you know.
Definitely, like, as a session musician, like you guys were both saying, it's, like, important to play to the song. But another thing with, like, the internet and technology, which is funny, is I think, especially with Justin moving down south, is collaborating remotely and being able to essentially record a part, and you say, oh man, like, I messed up that one part, so I can just go back and punch that in and record right over that. So it's like I have a lot of that at my disposal too if I really wanted to. But I feel like me, Kyle, all of us actually, I feel like have, like, a pretty good foundation as just, like, pocket musicians. So it's good to be able to come together and see that all combined in the way that it does. So
it's weird. I'd rather, like, learn, like, a longer kind of, like, written down song where I know I'm getting it, like, perfectly right than, like, make my own, like, thing most of the time. I don't know. That's just but when I do make my own thing, just have it purely be improvised.
I think the improvisational aspect of our project is one of our stronger suits, though, too, because like at a bunch of gigs that I've played with you and you and you know, like there have been times where I'm just like, oh, well, I just wrote this the other day and we're just going to go off, you know, and then we get, 10, 15 people clapping or whatever at a show, and like that was awesome. And then from our perspective, we're like, well, we don't know, like we just did our thing. But I think the fact that we're able to improvise if we want to and not being hindered by the lack of being able to improvise.
Right, that's kind of the foundation I was talking
you know
about.
What I mean?
We all have that foundation as drummer, bass, everything.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone having that just makes it so we can just boom drop.
Well,
into
yeah,
something.
that actually makes the stand out part stand out.
Mm-hmm.
If you come back
scheduling with you guys is easy too. Like it's easy to be like, hey Kyle, we changed the bridge, and there's a part in there that we think it'd be better if you came in and redid this part, and it's not like a strain. It's not like a battle of like, oh, you didn't like my part. It's like a oh, okay, man, like let's do it. You know what I mean?
I think it's cool that we can go places when we're playing live and not have to stick to the structure.
Yeah,
it's a whole other thing.
We can have
playing
fun.
live.
It was so great to like just play together.
Yeah, dude.
Like
Within the first 5
feeling.
minutes, when the first 5 minutes of us playing, I was like, yeah,
this is it,
boy.
It's been a long time. It's like
I don't like recording.
I'm feeling rusty, but deep down inside, it's like this is the best thing ever, man.
Yeah. I know.
Well, you guys were talking about working on an album, so what's next for you?
Well, here, can I just say one more thing to what James said about the internet? Like, what's interesting about the internet is, and technology, is like James said, is Jamie can throw a part down, Justin can put a part on that, we can all collaborate, at some like scale of time, like over the internet. But what's interesting is that time, that measurement of time is getting smaller as the technology is getting better. Like I think now, don't they have like that kind of like you can kind of get away with jamming with your friends on FaceTime.
It's getting real close.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's getting close.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is the internet is global. So as technology gets better, and like more of our physical needs are met, and those higher level needs are.
We're not even going to need bodies.
We won't need bodies. Really, I believe that completely.
It's going to be a war for bandwidth and oxygen.
We won't need bodies, and everyone will be pursuing that really high level thing globally. And like it'll happen. The medium for that will be the internet, but it'll be like what we did today, but with the whole world. It sounds like really like far out, I think, but it's not far out when you think of the exponential trend. So I agree with. It's an exciting time to be alive.
That's kind of freaky to think about that.
It's scary.
But we
It's
already.
scary because I need that human connection.
But the only thing is like I understand that argument, like the human connection, but like one thing I kind of have been thinking about is kind of out there. Like I personally don't believe I'm human. And I'll explain why.
Hey, I don't believe it either, but I didn't want to say nothing.
I'll explain why. I'll explain why. I believe that I am not pure. I am beyond being human, and I think everyone is. So, like, I will gladly let the machines be human for me, so I can just be me, because I'm not human. I'm something better, right? That's my.
Well, on that note.
I never get a chance to talk about this stuff.
So, what is next for you guys, individually and as a band?
Well, before
not
we
being
get our new
human.
bodies,
Well, I'm not
we're
getting the
gonna
vaccine.
release.
I'm not getting the vaccine.
Stop. No, before we get our new bodies, we're gonna release an album.
Yeah.
And
Well, we got 11 songs on there. 11 songs.
yeah, 11-song album, and if we don't find a better name for it, I'm literally gonna call it Music for People, because that's what it is.
Music for everyone.
Music for people. No, so we have an album coming out. A lot of stuff that has been in the circulation for a while, and all of which we played tonight, and we'll hope that you'll buy it and buy our T-shirts and buy our beer koozies and whatever other toilet paper or whatever we decide to make. We hope that you get into it, and we hope that you support us and support other local musicians, and You know, don't just support us, support everybody.
And just because Justin's moving down south, we're still going to keep this happening remotely.
So we can come to a town near you.
Yeah, we'll check it out because it's going to get interesting. And we have more abilities because we might even venture down there and have 2 different segments. So
Wow.
there's going to be some cool stuff coming up.
Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, it's Justin
And Jamie.
from Creative Sound Studios Online. We really appreciate you guys tuning in, subscribing, and watching these local artists perform.
We really do this from the bottom of our hearts. And with your support, we can continue to help performing artists and musicians. So if you'd like to donate, there's a donate link on the website. Only give what you can. I really think you're going to enjoy what's coming up. And once again, we thank you.